take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody.
It's time!
It's Saturday, February 6th, 2021. This is the Church of MMA podcast. My name is Tabor Cragen.
My name is Mason Knight. This is episode 60, the Overeem versus Volkov recap. Then after that, we jump into some MMA news, and then we talk about UFC 258 preview show. But before we do all that, Tabor, where do we begin?
With our social media accounts, Mason, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Gab at the Church of MMA. Guys, we are posting funny memes or clips of the show every single day. We're trying to make you guys laugh. Hit us up.
Yeah, go check out our YouTube channel too, guys. We are up to 426 subscribers this week, trying to hit that 1,000 so we can start doing live fight companions. We got a lot of things in the works, but we have to hit 1,000 before we can start doing that. And go check out our Teespring merch store too, the church merch. You can find that link in the description below.
Absolutely. Mason, let's jump right into it. We just got done with this card, 10, 20 minutes ago?
Yeah. Super fresh off of this.
Thank goodness, because what a fucking card to start off with. I mean, dude, we took a little bit of a break last week. I was depressed, I'm not going to lie.
I know, I hate it. I hate Saturdays when there's no fights on.
It sucks.
I was clamoring to get in front of the TV and watch some fights. And it was awesome to have this card. And what a card to come back to, dude.
Yes.
There were so many incredible things that happened on these fights. And it's so funny because it's those cards that might not have as much publicity that end up being some of the best cards of the year.
Absolutely.
I can definitively say this was one of the best cards and one of the most entertaining and fun cards I've seen so far this year. I know we're only in February, but dude, there were some crazy knockouts, a couple submissions, some really good fights that went decision. This was a great night of fights.
Well, think about it. So far, just in the year, it's been absolutely fantastic. I mean, we got KO of the year contenders, performance of the year contenders right off the bat. It's wild. It's wild. The bar has been set extremely high. Let's start with this main event. Alistair Overeem versus Alexander Volkov.
Man, I'll say this again. I love Alistair Overeem. I was really rooting for him here. He strung together a couple wins. Would have been 5 straight wins had he had not unfortunately lost to Rosenstruck in the last 4 seconds in the 5th round. He was on that trajectory again to fight for the belt one last time, and this was kind of his final hurrah, his final run. I don't know if we got confirmation next because we literally just got off the fight, so we didn't watch the post-fight press conference, so we don't know whether or not Alistair Overeem is retiring. But I think it would probably be safe to say that he's probably retiring now.
He probably would have said something. Do you think they would have given him that chance to do an interview afterwards?
I don't think so. Only because he.
Well, you have the precedent of his last time he got KO'd and then got interviewed. I clearly felt the tap.
Yeah.
So there's a reason why we don't interview guys that just get KO'd.
And I like that. I'm fine with that. I'm totally fine with that because some people online, and I know it's people online, they don't count. They're like, vermin. But no, they were giving Alistair shit, and it's like, dude, the guy just got fucking unconscious. I know. Like, he just went unconscious. Like, give the man a little grace. He was a guy fighting in there. He thought he didn't tap, but when you're going out, you don't remember. That's why they should not interview guys after they've been KO'd or submitted, not lights out. So I'm totally fine with that. But man, we have to talk about Alexander Volkov, dude. He looked sharp. Those jabs were landing too. Alistair Overeem didn't have an answer for it. He was trying to get out of the way, and you had brought this up when we were watching it live, where, Alistair's doing this thing where he kind of like backs up in the fence and he lets guys kind of gas themselves out. He was able to eat shots, but he couldn't do that against Volkov. Volkov was landing that 1-2, and they were powerful too, man. That was a stiff jab, and he landed it multiple times and opened Alistair up. And that was that, man. I mean, that second round, that was all Alexander Volkov, and it was not looking good for Overeem.
Yeah, well, even when he had him up against the fence, dude, he was finding ways to get through that defense, and he was finding ways to land little hooks and uppercuts right up the middle. It was fucking beautiful.
It was.
Beautiful boxing up
beautiful
against the
performance.
fence.
And I'm excited. Again, shout out to Alistair Overeem. So much for the sport, man. I mean, how many times has he been champ in different organizations?
Too many times. Dude, they how many fights did he have in the MMA? They said almost 60 fights.
Yeah, 66 fights.
That's crazy. That's just MMA. That's crazy.
A little under 100 professional fights.
That's so wild, dude.
I mean, the man has had a incredible career. Just couldn't get that UFC gold, but I mean, despite that, one of the most impressive careers we've seen in mixed martial arts in general. So big shout out to him. But I am excited about Alexander Volkov's future, man. He has been looking really sharp as of late. This is shaping out to be a really fun heavyweight division here.
Well, what do we do with him? I mean, we're not going to say go straight to like a Curtis Blades rematch or something like that. But I mean, with the heavyweight division, you got fights to make. You do. I mean, you got Jairzinho Rozenstruik. He's going to fight Cyril Gane here pretty soon in the main event. So maybe the winner of that fight versus a Volkov. Well, you got Derek Lewis out there. I'm sure he'd want to avenge that loss.
I think this is fair because, we are talking about the heavyweight division. I think you are right on that. I think more than likely they're going to take on the winner of the Rozenstruik-Gane fight or Gane fight because we have a little bit of a jam in the heavyweight division. I'm telling you right now, after this Stipe Francis fight, we all know, it's all set in the stars that John Jones is getting the next fight after that.
Yeah.
There's no way John, being as dominant as he has been in the UFC for a decade or more, there's no way that he doesn't get the immediate title shot at heavyweight. I mean, come on. If Israel's getting the immediate shot at light heavyweight, you're trying to tell me John doesn't deserve it? So, of course, he's going to get that next shot. So, it does kind of suck for Volkov because he's kind of put in this limbo. So, I like that.
Well, it sucks for all of the guys at heavyweight. I mean, think about it. Curtis Blades is sitting at home praying that fucking Francis gets KO'd or something like that because that's his only chance.
No, and he'll never
fight Francis
rematch
again. No.
I mean, the third time, he'll never get that trilogy, which you can't. Do you call it a trilogy if you've lost twice already? I don't know.
I know, and in spectacular fashion, even worse the second time. So who knows? It's rough for a lot of these heavyweights. I mean, you're right. We have to see what happens in this championship fight. And I think Volkov, I would like to see him try to avenge maybe a Derek Lewis loss.
Yeah.
Let's put
he got knocked out in the 5th round in that fight.
Yeah, I mean, there are people in front of him that probably deserve it a little more. I mean, what is he even ranked, Volkov?
He was 6 before this fight. Alistair was 5.
That's right. So he's right on the edge of the top 5. So, one more fight. It just really depends. I like that Jairzinho Rozenstruik winner fight.
Yeah,
the winner of that fight.
That is such a fascinating matchup, too.
You can't sleep on that guy, Cyril Gane.
No, you cannot.
Oh, my goodness. He looked like one of the most technical guys we've ever seen in this heavyweight division.
He looks like a savage.
It's absolute savage. Sure. Absolute savage. Yeah, to back on Overeem, though, man, I hope he does retire.
Yeah.
Not to say that means no disrespect to him. If he really wanted to keep fighting, he probably could.
Yeah.
It's just right now I'm looking at it as what's the point? Are we getting to a point where it's going to be too much damage on the body? He's already taken so much, which is weird because the talking point coming into this fight was he's getting a resurgence in the chin.
Yeah.
Conditioning his chin.
That's what we were talking about.
That's a joke, but it's of course. It seemed like that's what happened. It just completely came back. And Volkov, just the power crumbled it again. And I don't want to see we'll get into the co-main event. I don't want to see stuff like that happen to just legends, the legends of the game that everybody loves.
And another point to make with Alistair Overeem, I mean, again, we've talked about the fact that he's had almost 100 professional fights in his career, 66 of those mixed martial arts, and he's 40 years old.
Yeah.
He has so much to be proud of in his career.
Yeah. He's a Hall of Famer for sure.
Period. For sure.
There's so many guys that I think that are still fighting that, why are we not already putting these guys in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
Do you have to, are we doing an NFL thing now where you have to retire before? Yeah. I mean, BJ Penn was still fighting. He was already in the Hall of Fame. Mm-hmm. Diego Sanchez, I guess his name isn't actually in the Hall of Fame, but one of his fights is.
Yes.
So, there's gray areas. I would really like to know the rules about that because I think there's a lot of guys that should probably been in the Hall of Fame before they retired. DC, fucking you could put John Jones in there right now.
Yeah, for sure.
Stipe, guys like that. So, do you just want to go over picks real quick and then get into this co-main? So, I took Overeem. I did lose 300 church coin in that. I was going with the Reem.
Yeah, I put 200 church coin on Overeem too. I like the value at a plus 165, but again, Volkov looked fantastic.
Yeah.
Excited for his future.
Absolutely. Corey Sandhagen, Frankie Edgar, co-main event. Holy shit. 24 seconds is all it took.
Dude.
Timed it beautifully. Beautifully timed.
Beautiful knee.
Because I'm not going to lie. So it was only 24 seconds. So, we don't have a whole lot to work with. But in that 24 seconds, I did think Frankie Edgar was looking good.
Yeah.
Dude, he was pressuring Sandhagen, getting him in his face, keeping him on his back foot. But you could tell, man, especially afterwards, and you're looking at the replay, That's what Corey wanted to set up.
Yeah.
And set it up is what exactly he did. And it was perfect. Perfect execution. Walk away KO with the flying knee. Possible KO of the year right off the bat.
It very well could be KO of the year this year. I mean, yeah, the timing was impeccable, and the way Frankie Edgar's body stiffened up. I mean, you knew he was out right away. A little scary for Frankie too, man. I mean, again, we want to talk about another guy who will be a future Hall of Famer, who has had wins in 3 divisions in the hardest organization in the world. Former champ, like this is the man right here.
And think if he wins this fight, he's getting another title shot in a 3rd division.
Which is
legendary,
incredible. So like to see him out the way that he was,
it was scary.
I was blown away. The knockout was beautiful, but at the same time, I'm like, damn, dude, I really hope Frankie Edgar's okay.
And that's that's the second time we've ever seen Frankie finished.
Yeah,
think about that.
Yep,
the second time in that man's career he's ever been finished. The first was Zombie, knocked him out in the first round, and now Corey Sandhagen, and this one was just brutal, vicious.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to say it, no disrespect to Frankie Edgar, but I think, he might be on this boat with Overeem, dude. I think it might be time. He's competitive. He's still competitive in these top 5 matchups, but I mean, when it comes down to it is like, is this what you want? Like, do you want to keep on taking damage like this in the future? I think, what is he, 40 years old already?
Yeah, he's 39. Yeah, man, I did not think he was that old. When you started
fighting
calling for
so
retirement.
long. He's been fighting for so long, man.
I know that, but I just...
In wars he's been through.
39. That's crazy.
Dude, he's been.
You were calling for retirement, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Like
he's only like 35,
years,
36. What are you talking about? But yeah, he's almost 40. Yeah, and I mean, you're looking at this division like, in order to make another run for the title, he's going to have to string together 2 or 3 wins against really tough guys.
Savages.
Really tough guys.
Savages, dude. I mean, it just sucks. It really sucks because, I mean, not for Corey Sandhagen. Yeah, let's get on him because it's amazing for him, dude. Obviously, he's the number 1 contender behind Aljamain Sterling. Obviously,
yes. Obviously.
Aljamain Sterling, Petr Yan's already made. That's happening UFC 260 or 259. I can't remember.
It's 260.
259. Is it 260? No, 260 is Ortega and Volkanovski. It's 259 because it's on the Nunes card.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's on the Yan and Israel card. Very excited for that card. Cannot wait. March is looking fantastic. But for Corey Sandhagen, that's cemented that you're the next guy, dude. You have to fight for the belt next. He is fighting the winner. I want to see the Aljamain Sterling Corey Sandhagen rematch. That is the fight I really want to see. I think Aljamain Sterling beats Yan. Who knows how much damage he takes in the process? Hopefully it's quick. Because I really want to see this fight. And he called it, dude. Post-fight, he says, I will KO the winner of that fight come January or July.
Which is a bold statement to make, considering you lost in the first round to Aljamain Sterling. But here's the thing. That rematch will happen. I'll tell you why. Because
I hope so.
On that day, March 6th, Aljamain Sterling will become the new bantamweight champion of the world. Unquestionably. It is set in stone, in my opinion. I mean, just this guy's phenomenal. But man, yeah, the rematch may be fascinating because we all know Aljamain Sterling took down Corey Sandhagen, got that rear naked choke in what? In the first round?
Yeah, well, he just jumped on his back. Yeah. Corey made the ultimate mistake of giving up his back in the first 10, 15, 20 seconds.
Nope.
Yeah, it was not good.
Yeah.
It was not good. He learned his lesson, and we'll see if history can repeat itself. That was just so impressive because Corey Sandhagen is a fucking absolute phenom. And for Aljamain Sterling to do what he did, people's champion for sure so far. I mean,
yeah, for sure.
The Yan resume, it will be without a doubt one of the greatest if he can pull off that victory and then maybe beat a Sandhagen and then maybe beat a TJ Dillashaw, which, there's always that asterisk of TJ Dillashaw. We have not heard shit from him lately. What is going on there? It's all very interested in this 135-pound division. So let's say that fight is a 5-round war come March, and then, is Corey Sandhagen the type of guy to just sit and fucking wait? Maybe.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe would it shock me?
The number 4 guy in the world. I mean, the only guy he can fight now is Cody Garbrandt.
If that fight gets offered, do you think he takes it, or TJ Dillashaw?
I'd like to see that.
Right?
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
I'd like to see that
Corey
a lot.
Sandhagen, TJ Dillashaw.
What if they go, hey, this for the next title shot? Guaranteed. But Corey might be like, what the fuck? I already have the next title shot. Right. What do you mean? But then they can go Aljamain Sterling. which, you know, could pressure the man a little bit. So who knows really what the front office could be thinking. But
it's very true.
I like that Corey Sandhagen, TJ Dillashaw fight. And TJ Dillashaw versus any of the top 3 guys really is a fantastic fight. Very excited for this 135-pound division. Let's go into my church coin bets. I put 800 church coin on Sandhagen, so that net me around $182.
Nice,
a good little positive there.
I had put 200 church coin on Frankie Edgar. You know, obviously lost that. So,
yeah. Next fight: Michael Johnson versus Clay Guida.
Hey man, surprise of the night.
Fight of the night for sure.
Yeah, it might even been a fight of the night. Yeah, dude. I mean, this was a awesome fight from start to finish. These men were throwing. The pace was just so incredibly high for 2 vets of the sport. I mean, Clay Guida, this guy is like the original Energizer Bunny, where he just never calms down. He's always going at it. He's always pressing the pace, man. And that wears on a guy. When you got a guy like Clay Guida who's just throwing just countless strikes, and then when you try to throw a couple back, he goes and takes you down, and then he grinds you up on the fence. Like, Clay Guida's style has worked. Like, it has worked throughout the decades. And it's like, you know, my hat's off to both these guys. I mean, they're vets of the sport. I mean, how many wars has Clay Guida been in? So many, dude. So many fun fights.
So many. And every time the man fights, it's a fun fight. It's an entertaining fight.
It is. And I thought he looked phenomenal. I thought he looked fast, quick. I was like, you know, because like I'm always thinking when I see Clay, I'm always really excited to watch the fight because I've always loved Clay Guida. But every single time I'm like, man, is this going to be the time that I see him not supposed to be in there? Fuck, after that performance, I know like it's Michael Johnson and it's like a Legends fight, but both of them looked real good. I was super impressed with Clay, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm impressed with Clay as well. Who I'm not impressed with is Michael Johnson, in my opinion. I mean, I'm not going to say not impressed with your performance, but I mean, if a guy, no disrespect, but I think the fall from grace has been vast for Michael Johnson.
Right, but that's to be, you know, we've seen that in the last couple of years. Again, not to be disrespectful. So like those were my expectations.
This was the fight he needed to win, and he didn't win it. So I wouldn't be shocked if Michael Johnson gets cut.
Yeah.
I really wouldn't. I mean, how many losses in a row is it now? Is it 3?
He has not won since 2018.
It's not good. Much. It's not good for my guy. And with such a fall from grace, he was top 5 in the world, 3 years ago?
Yeah.
3 years ago?
Yeah,
top
he
5
was a savage. Yeah.
It's just, it's not looking good. Clay Guida, he's just been fighting for so long. It's extremely impressive because I thought this guy was a guy that was just going to take fights like BJ Penn. You know, I didn't think Michael Johnson was going to be one of those fights. And so it really shocked me when a guy like Clay Guida just puts on such an impressive performance and was eating huge shots because both these men were throwing reckless abandonment. Mm-hmm. Just completely throwing wild hooks and straight punches. And it was very entertaining to watch and very, very impressive takedowns.
Yeah.
By Clay Guida too, especially up against the fence. What do we do with him? He still wants to fight, dude. He still wants to fight.
Look.
You don't give him a top guy. Like Jim Miller, maybe? Like someone like that?
I mean, they just...
Didn't they just fight? Yeah. Okay.
I mean, but again, I'm fine with that. A couple legends of the sport, man.
I just only want legends fights for this kind of guy.
But obviously, you're not going to give him a ranked guy. Like, he's 39. It's... he puts on entertaining fights. I think that's what it comes down to. Match him up with someone that you know is going to be entertaining. Because I don't care what you look at as a company. You might look at this guy and go, yeah, he's never going to fight for a title or be in competition for a title. But the man puts on great fights that you can throw on a pay-per-view, or a fight night, on a main card and know that this guy's going to go out there and perform. He's either going to get the knockout, he's going to knock someone out, or it's going to be a high-paced, fun fight for the fans. And that's what Clay Guida brings when he fights. So, yeah, I'm fine with it. Whatever they want to do with Clay Guida, I think he deserves to still fight because he still looks good enough to be able to do that.
Here's the fight. Gregor Gillespie. No, I'm just joking.
No, please don't.
They're like, Clay, good luck, brother.
Yeah.
Have fun just getting smashed for 3 rounds. Yeah. All right, so I took Michael Johnson. I really thought he was going to come out and get a nice victory. Did not happen, so I lost 100 church coin on that.
Yeah, I also picked Michael Johnson. I laid 600 church coin like a dummy. Wow, incredible. Clay Guida.
Well, he seemed like the lock.
Yeah.
Like the locked-in pick. Yeah. Really did. Alexander Pantoja versus Manuel Cop. They're calling him Cop?
They're calling him Cop.
All right. I'm going to have to remember that. Dude, my main talking point with this Cop guy is, like, if you're going to be flashy and do the shuck and jive and stuff like that, dance in the octagon, you better make sure you fucking win your fight.
Yeah.
You better make sure you win your fight. This guy is going to get roasted online, unfortunately, and he probably doesn't deserve it. He's a very, very talented fighter. Dude, he went to war with Pantoja, who is without a doubt a top 5 guy in the flyweight division. Flyweight has been so impressive lately, guys.
Well, he's literally ranked 5.
Yeah. No, I mean, and it's well deserved because rankings are bullshit in my opinion when it comes to a lot of these weight classes. But it's well deserved with Pantoja. He really impressed me with his performance, and I was thinking that Cop was going to come in and impress everybody, be a former Rising champ that would come straight into the UFC and be calling for a title shot like Jiri Prochazka. Didn't happen.
No, it didn't.
And hopefully he takes a lot of learning lessons from this because I thought he was impressive. I think he could find a lot of success. Dude, he had some of the fastest hands I've ever seen.
Yeah, he did.
And some of the fastest feet I've ever seen, dude. His footwork was amazing. He was getting in and out so quick. It was really hard for Pantoja, who is a knockout artist, might I add, to land. But he still was outlanding him. So hopefully Cop.
Yeah,
I was really fucking that up. Hopefully Cop can learn from this and come back because I think he's a possible top 5 guy this flyweight. And flyweight's looking so good in the future. Really, I mean, what do we do with Pantoja? He has to fight another guy, before we just give him a top 5 matchup, I think, because, he was on a little bit of a skid. Who do we serve up to Pantoja? I mean,
Askarov.
He was supposed to fight Stamen.
Yeah, but that fight
fell out.
Fell through.
I say an Alex Perez. Why not? That's a top 5 matchup. Or a Brandon Royval would be a very entertaining fight.
I'd rather have Royval than Perez coming off that loss.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I mean, there's actually a lot of new names in this 125-pound division that I don't know. It's actually very exciting because this division is just having a complete
there's
resurgence.
Like 4 or 5 that I have no idea.
Yeah. Can't wait for the future of that. So I took Cap. Lost 100 church coin there.
Yeah. So I put 145 church coin on Pantoja at a minus 145, so a 100 net gain.
All right, last fight of the night, we did pick Diego Ferreira versus Beneil Dariush. Oh my goodness, what an impressive fight. I thought this was fight of the night until this Michael Johnson-Clay Guida fight happened. This was absolutely fantastic. Another one where guys were just throwing with reckless abandonment.
This was a fun fight.
When it was on the feet. Yeah. And then when Beneil was just getting the takedowns, dude, he was very dominant on the ground, had very, very good top pressure. Yeah. I was very impressed with Beneil's jiu-jitsu against the guy who's known to be very good off his back. Again, Diego was doing some ninja shit on the ground too, might I add. There was a few times he spun and then got back up to his feet instantly, and I'm like, Jesus, how did you do that?
And look, man, Beneil Dariush has now strung together some very impressive wins.
Very impressive wins.
And we had listened to the post-fight interview, and he was upset. He said, you know what? Me and Ferreira deserve more than us two fighting. He goes, I deserve a top 5 guy. And, you really can't deny this, man. He just beat Ferreira, pretty dominantly. I could not believe this was a split decision win. What in the hell was that? One judge gave it one judge gave it 29-28 to Ferreira.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Luckily, the right man won here, and I'm the guy who put church coin on Ferreira, but he definitely didn't win that fight.
No, I thought he lost all 3 rounds.
Yeah, I mean it wasn't a bad outing. It wasn't a bad performance. It's just Beneil just looked fantastic.
Looked good.
Man.
Looked good. Dude,
he looked really good.
Top pressure is very, very impressive. To hold a man like that down for that long, it's extremely impressive.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what do we do with Beneil? I mean, he's right, dude. That's something I was saying last week. I thought both of these men should deserve at least a top 10 opponent.
I'd like to see him fight. I want to see him fight a 6, 7, or 8 guy, like a Dan Hooker coming off that loss,
Rafael
or Paul
Dos Anjos,
Felder,
dude,
or Rafael.
That's a fight.
That is a hell of a fight.
That's a great fight. Yeah. Beneil versus RDA, dude. Here's the thing, dude.
I don't know if RDA is going to take that, though.
No, he'll probably won't. He'll probably want, I want Tony Ferguson or Michael Chandler or someone like that, Connor.
Which, he deserves it.
It's understandable.
Yeah.
That's understandable. But that's a matchup I really like. Beneil Dariush versus RDA, that's the one that's screaming out to me right now because I know anyone above him isn't taking that fight.
Yeah.
maybe Paul Felder. I think they fought once before, so maybe that's a good rematch to think of. Who knows? I like that RDA fight, but here's the deal with Beneil Dariush, man. You cannot just reckless abandonment, just throw wild hooks like that in the pocket. Dude, there was multiple times I thought Diego was going to KO him. And that's really making me nervous because, dude, if you're going to go into a top 5 matchup with an RDA and try to do that, man, it's not going to be good.
You're going to get in a firefight the same way Cody Garbrandt versus Pedro Munoz.
Absolutely.
And then one of you is just going to bed.
I mean, if
you don't want to do that.
Think about it. If they make, it's not what's going to happen, but if they go Michael Chandler versus Beneil Dariush, that's the fight they make, dude. If you get into a firefight like that with Michael Chandler, you're probably going to sleep. You get into a firefight like that with Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, any top guy, which is a fight you would deserve with another win over a top 10 opponent. I mean, it's not going to be good for you.
Yeah, no.
So hopefully he gets a little bit better. But who am I to say that? I'm just a fat guy that's talking into a microphone.
In all fairness, yeah. I mean, hey.
He's the professional fighter. He's the guy on the 5-fight winning streak or 6-fight winning streak.
That's for sure.
I'm just a fat guy. So, don't even listen to me.
Yeah,
but it's what I would like to see in the future because if he does go up against a top guy, I'm not taking that fight. I'm not taking Beneil, unfortunately.
No, of course not.
All right.
But I think, just one more point, but I think he does definitely deserve at least a top 7, top 8 guy.
Yes, and even if he did get a fight with Dustin Poirier or Charles Oliveira, any top guy, he's very competitive in those fights. Very, very competitive, especially when it goes down to the ground, man. There's not many people in the world that are as good as him on the ground. So I really like Beneil Dariush's future. It's looking good.
Yeah, it is.
It's looking really good. And he's in his prime, too. So if there's any time to make a run, it's right now.
Yep. All
right, Mason. MMA news time. Let's do it. And we got to start off with the biggest news. Kind of. It's, Paige Van Zandt was in the main event of a bare knuckle boxing event. I think this was yesterday. Yeah. I didn't even know this was happening.
Well, I thought it was tonight. And I was like, oh, well, I'm not going to order it. No. That would have been kind of a fun...
I wouldn't have bought it.
Kind of would have been a fight companion.
Maybe. Maybe. It was an all right fight. I mean, we did just watch the highlights. It was pretty entertaining, actually. It was better than I thought it would have been. They were really throwing.
That Chris Lieben fight looked cool, too.
Oh, yeah.
That looked wild. Yeah,
I'm not going to
guys
Chris
throwing
Lieben,
with reckless abandonment. Oh, my goodness.
And it was a classic Chris Lieben fight, too. One where they're just beating the shit out of each other, and then he lands a punch that doesn't even look like it hit hard, and he KOs a guy.
KOs him, yep.
It happens so many times. Think about how classic Chris Lieben happens every time. Just lands a crazy punch, KOs someone.
But I got to say, that was entertaining. That was a fun fight to watch.
Yeah, that really was. So, people give bare knuckle a lot of flack.
Yeah, they do.
Bare knuckle. I mean, I gave Paige Van Zandt specifically a lot of flack on this podcast about her signing that fucking contract. I still to this day don't think it was the best thing ever.
No.
But you know what? If she's making millions and they did it in Florida, so it was a sold out crowd.
Yeah.
I guess I'm the idiot.
And it's one of those things where, everyone has an opinion. Obviously, she's doing what's best for her. And, she enjoys the fight game. She enjoys fighting. So it's like, who are we to say that? And from the highlights that we watched, she didn't look bad. I mean, I think she definitely got beat.
Yeah.
But she didn't look bad. I mean, she was throwing and don't ever take this away from her. She is a tough girl, dude.
Yeah, dude. They're both blasting each other with no gloves on.
Yeah.
I mean, just think about the pain in your hands the next day. Your fucking hands probably hurt so bad, your wrists and everything.
Girls, that's for sure.
Super tough. And they both neither one got cut up that bad, actually.
No, not bad.
Which is shocking because that was a huge talking point going into this Paige Van Zandt thing. It was like, oh my God, she's going to get cut up. Her face is going to get mashed. She's never going to look the same. Her modeling career is going to be done. No, probably not. No. She'll just make a few $1 million a couple times a year and, just continue making even more on Instagram.
Yeah, more power. Hey, more power to her.
Yeah, let's talk about the technique a little bit. I mean, she looked pretty fucking good for being a jiu-jitsu girl going into bare knuckle boxing.
For sure.
There were some really nice hooks, really nice dirty boxing, and I'm surprised that bare knuckle lets them clinch as much as they did.
I like it though. I like that clinch game with this bare knuckle boxing, man. It's fun. It kind of brings another element to it. You can't throw elbows, you can't throw kicks. So hey, let's get some dirty boxing.
Uppercut like a motherfucker in there,
dude. They absolutely do that. Holy hell.
Yeah, Paige looked strong in the clinch, but unfortunately when she went into it, she was getting struck with the body shots from hell.
Yeah.
Just constantly, nonstop. She looked like a rock'em sock'em robot.
Well, I think her natural instinct, it would be like...
Go for the takedown or something.
Go for the takedown.
And now you can't. You're like,
or go for an elbow, and you're like, gosh, shit, I can't do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, power to both those women. They looked like complete warriors out
Yeah,
there
they
just
did.
throwing with reckless abandonment. So shout out to bare knuckle
More
boxing
courage
as
than
well.
we'll ever have.
Oh, fuck, I'm never doing that shit, dude. I think back, remember those times we used to just go in your backyard and just like kick each other's ass?
Yep, we used to put on the MMA gloves and fight.
So dumb. So dumb. But you know what? It was fun.
It was fun. We were kids.
All right, let's move on. So we got to start with this. And I got a little bit of a clip here from YouTube that I will play. This started a massive Twitter storm. It probably shouldn't have, but with Twitter in 2021, you can't be shocked. This is on the Sugar Sean O'Malley podcast. This is a Casey Kenny.
Would you smash Megan Anderson or no, Casey?
Probably not, man. She's not too well.
Be honest.
I mean, if it came down to it, and it was like
You're
5 a.m. she's a 5 a.m. or 4 a.m. or just
She's
us two hanging out.
She's piggybacking you to her room.
yeah. I'd be like, fuck it, let's do it.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, that was not good with the Twitter reaction right there. So apparently a lot of people were very, very angry that, I mean, pretty much it was just a thing about all men in MMA are pigs and they're all pieces of shit and the way they treat women is awful. And it ended up blowing up pretty big to the point where Casey had to go out and publicly apologize.
Yeah, and I think, I think he should have.
No, he definitely
I think he should have apologized. He should have
known that going on a podcast, especially one like Sugar Sean O'Malley's, but has a good following, he should have known this was going to come back to haunt him.
Right, of course. And man, I mean, he apologized. I don't think it's one of those things where we cancel him forever. We don't allow him to fight anymore. He obviously needs to own up to the fact that, he shouldn't have done that, especially being on the same card as Megan Anderson. Like, she deserves the same amount of respect as anyone else, fighting. You don't mention that with male fighters. So it is one of those things where it's like, he apologized. You kind of threw this at me.
You didn't know about any of this?
No, what did Megan say?
She put on Twitter, I guess MMA is a line of work where you could publicly talk about whether you'd have sex with a coworker in an utterly degrading way and face zero consequences. Disgusting behavior, and it's unfortunate that he'll be fighting on my card in March.
Right. Okay.
That's actually, she makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I mean, any other world, that's a fireable offense. You get fucking fired for that shit. Any
Sexual
other world
harassment.
in corporate, or at least you're going to some fucking classes for 6 months. I don't think the UFC is ever going to do anything like that. But, he is getting roasted on Twitter for this. And I guess my whole point is, Megan, we shouldn't let these things get to you, especially when you're in the middle of a fight camp. Like, she's got a big fight coming up, and letting these type of things get to you, it's not good. I hope that this doesn't get in her head. I really hope she's focused, and I hope that she gets past this.
But at the same time,
she's a fucking beautiful girl, dude.
Okay, but
she's a fucking
okay.
Well, let me say this: she's a fucking beautiful girl, and this guy is a fucking, like, let's be real, this Casey Kenny guy looks like a
okay, but that doesn't justify what he did. Just because she's a beautiful girl, that has nothing.
No,
to
but
do
I
with
don't
anything.
think she should let it get to her, and that's my point.
Right. Okay, but. Look, she's gotta stand up for herself. She's got to say this stuff is not okay. Otherwise, you're going to get this stuff in the organization all the time.
Yeah.
Let's nip it in the butt. I think she put it out. She put out that statement, which I think is a very justified statement. And it's one of those things where it's like, okay, learn from this. Let's not have this happen again. So she nipped it in the butt. And I think, we can't use, she's a beautiful girl as justification or saying, this is why.
And I'm not, but at the same time, when you're training for a world title fight, man, if you're letting these kind of distractions fuck you up, I just hope it doesn't get into her head. It's probably not.
But again,
and she did nip it in the butt. You're right.
Yeah, and she's a woman on a card. Like, we don't do that to men. We don't say that to men while they're in a training camp. You're a woman, and then you got to deal with this guy who makes this comment. Like, I don't think it was malicious. Necessarily with Casey Kenny, I don't think he meant to intentionally hurt her, but nonetheless, what he said, he needs to apologize for and own up. So and that's what he did, and I think this is a learning lesson for any fighter in this organization. But
I think this is a learning lesson for the men in this organization.
Well, yeah, that's what.
Especially, just be like, hey, just don't talk about their looks.
No.
Talk about their fighting skills. Then it probably doesn't matter.
Here's the thing: there is a difference. Okay, so I think it's perfectly acceptable and appropriate to say that a woman is beautiful. I think you're allowed to make that statement, but that's not what statement was made there. It was, would you have sex with her? Would you, I think verbatim quoting, would you fuck her?
Yeah.
Which,
and then he goes, no, only at 5 a.m. Like
right.
after some
and not only that, but those are two completely different questions.
Yeah.
You know, I think you're allowed to, you know, say that, oh yeah, she's very beautiful or whatever. Like that's appropriate, but it's in a derogatory manner, which is the issue. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah. I wonder if she would have ever put out that tweet, if this would have ever blown up at all. I mean, who watches the Sugar Sean O'Malley podcast? I didn't know about any of this.
I think a lot of kids do.
Oh, kids for sure. For sure. Casuals.
They like
probably that only watch
for whatever
the
reason, they like influencers with rainbow hair. They like this Tekashi 6ix9ine guy. They like Sugar Sean. They, you know.
Yeah, and this leads into some other things with the women in MMA fighting. Stephen A. Smith also put out a statement saying that he does not like watching women's MMA.
Yeah, well, I don't like watching you, Stephen A. Smith. So shut the fuck up, you idiot, you sexist pig. Get the fuck out of here with your stupid commentary. God, the dude's a troll. Seriously, it's like, what a stupid comment to make.
I think it's just, you know, it's just a generational thing. You know?
I need to be, you know, I would need to hear the comment. I'm just reading based on the notes here, but so I haven't heard the comment. Yeah, I'd say you probably pull that up because I'd like to hear that. But I mean, if this statement is exactly what it says here, where it says Stephen A. Smith says he doesn't like women fighting, that is an absurd thing. And who the fuck are, like, okay, like why does that statement even need to be made? Like, are you saying that like women get whatever? I would rather jump into. So let's. I want to know exactly before I go on a tangent here because this guy's just full of stupid comments.
Well, there's a lot here. So first of all, I love it. I think there's an awful lot of women who are incredibly qualified to do the jobs they're doing. Okay. Where I jump off the bandwagon, I can't even talk. Where I jump off the bandwagon is where they try to engage physically. For example, I don't ever want to see a woman boxing a man. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see a woman in the UFC fighting a man, even though there are some women out there that will kick a dude's butt. But when I think polygamist sports, I don't want to see women involved in it at all. I'm guessing that means combat sports. I just don't like it. I wouldn't pass. I wouldn't promote legislating laws prohibiting them from doing so, but I don't want to see a woman punching each other in the face. I don't want to see women fighting in the octagon and stuff like that. That's just me.
Okay. Then do me a favor. Don't commentate on the sport anymore and just don't fucking watch it. Because we can do without you. Like, we can do without these half-assed knowledge of the sport anyway. Like, you disrespect it a lot of ways because, like, he doesn't even know what he's talking about half the time. And it's like, okay. You know, like, I feel like this guy just, like, talks shit about MMA. Like, honestly,
all the time, dude. He's making headlines.
So it's like, just get the fuck out of here then. We don't fucking need you. We'll stick with our John Anicks, our Joe Rogans, our DCs, our Paul Felders. You know, we don't need you. We don't need you. We don't need you commentating on the sport. Get out of here. Go cover football. Go cover tennis. Go cover whatever sport you want to cover. But get the hell out of MMA if you don't like it. Like, it's just stupid. Like, why even make that statement? What is the point of that statement? Like, are you trying to, you know, he said that he's not trying to get it banned or anything. It's like, okay, then what? Like, you're only stirring controversy.
Yeah, he's just saying, yeah, I'm not.
I don't want his money.
He just goes, I just don't like it. It's pretty much him just putting his opinion out of, I don't like it.
Yeah, and you know what? You know, I mean, he's entitled to that opinion. He's entitled to it, but I just
disagree.
Yeah.
I mean, it's literally like the 115-pound division is one of my favorite divisions in MMA. Period.
Hell yeah, dude. And who are you to say that you can't do a sport based on your gender? How's that not getting called out?
Yeah, well, he's, you know, it just comes from this mentality of, you know,
women can't handle themselves?
Women are weak and you got to protect them. Yeah. You know, it's a really old school mentality. I mean,
not everyone, you know, you can't have this cookie cutter person. You know, everyone's different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, I mean, you look at Valentino, Amanda Nunes, Rose Namajunas,
Zhang Wei Li, fucking Joanna, dude. That was, I mean, fight of the year last year.
These are like mixed martial artists in the purest form. Like, like this is something to be respected and admired. These women of great talent, and to say that they're not allowed to get on a platform and participate in combat sports is an insult to them. Even to voice that opinion, like, and he has every right to freedom of speech, of course, but like, get the hell out of here with that. Like, that's just so dumb. It doesn't need to be said. It doesn't need to be said. Like, how much has women's sports evolved because of this in the last 10 years? We've had some of the greatest fights in the organization have been through women's sports. You know, so don't sit here and dog it. Don't sit here and dog it. That shit pisses me off as a fan, man. It really does. But again, whatever. He's entitled to his opinion. He can make it. And it's just it's just a way to get into the headlines.
And I mean, not just that, I 100% disagree with him. I want to see women fight men.
Well, now you're saying, there we go.
No, but I am serious though. Zhang Wei Li versus Davison Figueiredo. No, I'm just joking. No, but if you did, so I'm being 100% serious here. If you did Valentina Shevchenko versus Henry Cejudo, I'd fucking watch that shit. I would watch that shit.
Yeah, but I mean,
you make Henry cut down to 125.
That's
actually the only thing.
That's where I do draw the line, because literally, biologically, there is a disadvantage.
But I would watch it.
You know, well, yeah, I might.
I would watch it.
I would tune in, and honestly, I might put I might put a little money on Valentina.
Dude, I think it'd be a competitive fight. Think about it. Duran Duran, KO'd several dudes in kickboxing matches.
Yeah, she did.
Several dudes. It's happened several times.
Cyborg would knock a dude out too, man.
Cyborg would knock. I would love to think about it, dude. If you had Amanda Nunes box Jake Paul, she KOs him.
Bro, please.
Okay,
that I'm all for.
See, I'm telling you, I disagree.
I put all my money
Women
on
should fight men. 100%. You heard it here first on the Church of MMA.
Hey, let's go. We're ahead of the curve, folks.
We're so progressive, guys.
Yeah, we're so
progressive.
WOKE, woke.
All right, let's move off of this shit. Diego Sanchez has his retirement fight set. It is Donald Cowboy Cerrone on May 8th on the UFC Fight Night card. It is not the main event, thank goodness. This will only be 3 rounds. I don't think we have a main event for that card yet.
No, I don't think so. But, I'm really happy with this fight. I think it's a good fight send-off for Diego Sanchez. We're obviously looking at Cowboy Cerrone being at the tail end of his career, coming on a bit of a skid. I think this is a great matchup. I like it. I think it's a respectable fight for Diego Sanchez. They're not feeding him some savage that's going to dominate him to make him look bad, but they're not also feeding him some unknown 44-year-old guy who hasn't fought in 4 years either. I think this is a very respectable Legends fight, and this is definitely a Legends fight, man. I mean, how much both of these combined both of these men have done for the sport have been astronomical. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a fun fight.
You know what I think they should have done? As impressive as Clay Guida looked just tonight, they should have done that Diego Sanchez Clay Guida rematch.
Yeah, that would have been fun, man.
That would have been
so
the
much
fight
fun
to make.
Yeah.
This is another great fight. I don't think Cowboys ever fought Diego. Have they? Have they fought each other? I don't believe so.
Yeah, I don't really. I'm trying.
I don't know. I would pull it up, but it's okay.
I feel like they have.
Cowboys fought everybody.
Yeah,
you could just assume that they have.
Right.
Diego's fought everybody. You could just assume that they have. So it's an interesting matchup. Is this going to be Cowboy's retirement fight as well? Or is this just a send-off for Diego? I wouldn't be shocked if Cowboy maybe goes, whether he wins or loses, maybe he retires as well, but probably not. Probably not. But he definitely could. People have been saying maybe it's time for Cowboy, but, Cowboy's Cowboy.
He's going to cowboy, man.
He's going to do cowboy shit.
Yeah, he's going to do what he wants when he wants.
Yeah, and you know what? It costs a lot of money buying all those snowmobiles, motorcycles, quads, fucking race cars, trophy trucks, all the bullshit.
Well, that's the thing, man. It is. It's
expensive life.
It's expensive lifestyle.
But you know what? He's got his own gym. I think he's charging fighters train on his ranch. I mean, dude, he's got like a legit ranch with a fucking massive bunkhouse where fighters literally have their own apartments and come and train constantly in his own gym. So, I mean, this man has got a fucking great team surrounding him still. Yeah. And he's got a future in coaching as well.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, you know what? I'm looking through his record. He has never fought Cowboy Cerrone. How fucking crazy is that?
Interesting.
So maybe that's why they made this matchup.
Yeah, it's a great send-off fight.
Yeah, it is.
Unfortunately, I think Diego's going to go out on a loss, dude. I see Cowboy piecing him up.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a tough fight for him, but it'll be fun.
Tough fight
it'll be
for
fun.
him. It will be fun. And hopefully it's just competitive, because worst thing, I don't want to see Cowboy just go in there and smoke Diego in like 30 seconds or something like that. That'd be the worst possible thing. I want to have Diego be able to give us a post-fight speech. Right. Even if he does get rocked a few times in it, I want to hear the craziness. Yep. I got to hear it come out of Diego's mouth himself.
Yes!
Yes! Yes! Yes, Mason, we're here. It's time. Preview show. UFC 258. Kamaru Usman, Gilbert Burns. Whew! Finally. When was this fight originally made?
I think December, right?
Yeah, you're right.
It was
supposed to be December, but it fell out a couple times. Remember, this was the fight that was supposed to happen last July. Yep. Then Jorge Masvidal ended up stepping in last minute. Yep. there's been not a whole lot of talk about this main event.
No, and I am so stoked for it. Training partners.
This should be way more hype.
Oh, dude, this is going to be a hell of a fight, man. I am so excited for Kamaru Usman versus Gilbert Burns. Are you fucking kidding me or what?
Yeah, before we break down that main event, unfortunately, my favorite fight of the card did fall out. Chris Weidman and Uriah Hall.
Oh, no.
That was my favorite fight. All right. Thank goodness.
God.
Thank goodness. It actually helped
Just
the card.
so
It
much
actually
trolling
helped it.
on
It
this
actually helped
podcast.
it. Come on. Main event time.
unhealthy.
Main event time. Kamaru Usman, Gilbert Burns. Man, what an incredible matchup. This is without a doubt a true number one contender, in my opinion. Maybe, I mean, you got Colby Covington out there and stuff like that. You got other people that you can maybe make arguments. But for right now, it's Gilbert Burns.
Unquestionably.
True number one contender versus the true champion. I'm very, very excited for this fight. Former training partners, like you said earlier. So they've went rounds multiple times. Gilbert Burns even went on Ariel Helwani's show. Or who was it? No, it wasn't Ariel Helwani's. It was Bisping's show this last week. And talked about how, Bisping straight up asked him, hey, man, when you went rounds with Kamaru, because I know you guys did, who won? How'd those rounds shake out? And he goes, unfortunately, man, 99% of the time, me and Kamaru win against each other. We played different games. He goes, we've never really had our own game implemented against each other. Yeah. When I had a big fight coming up, Kamaru was my opponent. And when he had a big fight coming up, I was his opponent. I was Colby Covington. I was Jorge Masvidal. I was all these other guys. This will be the first time we actually implement our own game against each other. And whether or not that's true or not, I don't care. It just made me hype as fuck. It made me very hyped for this
man,
fight.
it's so interesting too, and I feel like there's a tenseness about this fight that has just not been talked about. Where it's different, man. It's a lot. It's the intensity is a lot different for a multitude of reasons. But one of those being that they're training partners, which sets up a very weird dynamic.
And the champ left his camp.
Right. Not only for the camp, but just for these two fighters in general. I mean, this is not like I hate you so much. And this is not like we have mutual respect. I mean, these guys are training partners.
These guys are friends,
They're
apparently.
friends.
Yeah.
So it's really going to be interesting to see how this fight shakes out. I mean, how do you see this going down, Tabor?
It's got to go down to the ground at some point, right?
Oh, yeah.
It has to.
Yeah.
You think?
And I think Gilbert Burns takes him down.
Really?
I do. Yeah.
So this is interesting, man, because Kamaru can have these different ways. I mean, everyone thought Kamaru was just going to try to take Colby Covington down. Everyone thought that was going to be an ultimate wrestling match. We're going to see whose wrestling is superior. But Kamaru stood and traded.
Yeah.
If Kamaru stands and trades with Gilbert Burns, I think Gilbert Burns has the advantage on the feet.
So do I.
He has the power advantage. Yep. He has the speed advantage. I think it's crazy to say that. Like, usually you don't have the speed and the power advantage. I do think Burns has it. Coming up from 155. Kamaru Usman is never making 155. He struggles to make 170.
Yeah.
He's a 175er. If 165
sure.
happens, he's going to 175.
Oh, yeah, unquestionably.
Burns might be a 165er. So he's going to be faster. He's going to be a little bit stronger, I think. Maybe not, actually. Maybe Kamaru's got the strength.
His last loss was at lightweight against Dan Hooker.
Mm-hmm.
Since then, he's won 6 straight.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. Very impressive. I was at that fight, that Dan Hooker fight.
Oh, you were?
Yeah, I was the first knockout of the night. I remember that shit. I was like, oh, fuck. I was already drunk. It was like 3 o'clock.
Of course you were. Of course you were, Tabor.
Yeah, well, Vegas is Vegas.
Yeah,
You're drunk at 9 a.m.
That's why I'm saying, of course, baby. Of course you're drunk in Vegas. Come on.
Yeah, but I mean, if it goes down to the ground, who has the advantage? Who has the advantage? I think it comes down to who is on top.
Yeah. Yep.
Right?
Yeah. I think in this, and that sounds so simplistic, like, oh, wow.
But it's the truth. I mean, it's the truth. I mean, who is on top? If Kamaru is on top, I think he dominates. If Burns is on top, I think he dominates. But you cannot count out Burns' bottom game.
No, you
cannot count out the jiu-jitsu from the back. When he slithered, and I use the word slither because he fucking slithered out of that top game against Damian Maia.
I'm a snag.
I was like, what the fuck? I couldn't believe he did that. It didn't even look like he used his legs or arms. He just fucking slithered on his back like a magician. It was crazy. Yeah, it was crazy, dude. His jiu-jitsu is so elite. It is next level. I don't think Kamaru wants to go down to the ground with him. That's what I think's going to happen. I am taking Gilbert Burns in this fight, dude. I am taking Gilbert Burns in this fight. If it goes out on the feet, Gilbert Burns will knock Kamaru Usman out. I said it. He will finish Kamaru Usman if this stays on the feet. But unfortunately, this is MMA, and this will be an MMA fight. I think it goes everywhere. I think they trade on the feet. I think they fucking go to the clinch. I think Kamaru has some success in the clinch. I think Kamaru finds a way to take Burns down. I think Burns gets back up, finds a way to take Usman down. It's going to be a very interesting fight. I wouldn't be shocked if this is a 5-round war.
Wow.
And if it's a split decision, but I am going Burns. I'm going to go Burns. You know what? Actually, I changed my mind. You know, because I totally forgot about Kamaru's most powerful game. His foot stomps. It's his most powerful attack, dude. Kamaru Usman, 5th round TKO via foot stomp.
Great.
That's it.
Great prediction.
That's my pick.
Okay.
His foot can't take all that damage over 5 rounds.
It cannot.
No, I'm just joking.
It's physically impossible.
No, I'm taking Gilbert Burns, dude. I'm gonna go 4th round TKO. I think he finds a way to get it done. You know, whether it's on the ground and ground and pound, whether it's on the feet, he just lands a big right hand and floors him. I think he's going to shock a lot of people with this victory.
How many church coin?
This is where it gets interesting because I don't know if I want to lay it all out on the guy. I mean, he is a favorite. I mean, an underdog plus 220. So, I mean, $100 church coin doesn't seem like it's that risky, and it's still a good return. But you know what this is? This is the fucking church of MMA. Guys, I ain't no fucking pussy. I'm going 500 church coin on Gilbert Burns with the 4th round TKO.
Alrighty. Yeah, you know, I see a lot of the same things in Gilbert Burns. He has impressed the hell out of me in the last 3 years. You've really seen a resurgence in his career, especially here now, being at welterweight. You know, his performances against Tyron Woodley dominated for 5 rounds. His performances against Damian Maia was phenomenal. And I think this adds a special element when he knows so much about Kamaru Usman. You know, he can sit there and say that, oh, yeah, we always had different game plans. But when you train together, you know at least people's tendencies. You know what they're going to do. Even if they are training to be someone specifically, you're trying to tell me you guys have never just rolled around or anything. You're still physically there with one another. Yeah. And I really like Gilbert Burns here. I like him so much. I'm very hype on Gilbert Burns. I love Kamaru Usman. I think he's been a dominant champ and could very well win this fight. I mean, obviously, he's a favorite minus 270, but I really like the value at a plus 220 on Gilbert Burns.
Yeah, it's a great bet.
I love it, and I am laying down 1,000 church coin on Gilbert Burns.
Making me look like a bitch.
For, I'm going to say 5th round TKO.
Damn, can I change it? I'm going 10,000 church. No, I'm just joking.
You don't even have 10,000 nowadays, boy.
All in on Gilbert Burns. Just lose it all. Fuck it. No, that's an absolutely fantastic matchup. I cannot wait for this welterweight world title fight. I mean, who does the winner fight next? I mean, do we even have another number 1 contender? I mean, Gilbert Burns has said if he wins this belt, which we're both taking him, so if he wins, he wants to be a very active champion. He says he wants to fight 3 to 4 times this year. Shocking.
I like it though.
Yeah. I really, really like it. So maybe a July, maybe a December. He gets 3 fights in.
Well, that's the thing. If we ever get that Leon Edwards Hamzat Chimaev fight,
the winner of that fight,
the winner
right?
of that gets the fight, man.
Right?
Yeah.
It's got to be that, or Jorge Masvidal, Colby Covington.
Yeah, or that. Yeah,
or Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. The good thing is this 175 pound.
170 pounds.
It should be 175. It really should be. But 170 pound division is just ridiculous.
It is.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Super stacked. It's looking more and more stacked, at least top 10 these
absolutely.
days.
Let's move on to the co-main event of the evening. It should have been the co-main event before the Uriah Hall fight fell out. Yep. Macy Barber, Alexa Grasso. Macy Barber is coming in at a plus 120 to a minus 140 Alexa Grasso.
Yes.
You know what? I'm just going to give you my pick right now. I'm going 250 church coin on Macy Barber. I'm actually kind of shocked that she's an underdog.
Yeah. You know, I'm a little shocked too. I mean, Alexa Grasso's no joke, but you know, Macy Barber, obviously, Vegas likes to favor people who are more active. That is just what they are known to do.
In the
Macy
ACL.
Barber coming off an ACL surgery. Mm-hmm. She's been out over a year. You know, that's why Vegas here has her at a slight underdog at a plus 120.
Yeah, which makes her a good bet in my opinion, because it's really, in my opinion, this is a pick 'em fight. This is obviously playing out on the feet, and this is going to be a fucking barn burner
Oh,
at
this fight's
125
gonna be
pounds,
fun.
dude.
This fight
it's gonna
is
be
gonna be
fun
fun.
because Macy's just gonna march forward and throw like a wild girl that she is, going for the first round KO like she normally does. And Alexa Grasso is so clean with the striking, dude.
Super clean.
Super clean. She can find ways to counter and piece her up. It's gonna be a very good fight.
It will be.
I'm sticking with Barber's second round TKO. I think until then, it could be back and forth the entire time. Possible fight of the night. I do think it doesn't last. Macy Barber, second round TKO. If it goes down to the ground, who would you give the advantage to? I mean, probably Barber.
Yeah.
I mean, she's working with Ben Askren, so maybe she comes in differently.
Yeah.
Maybe all that training with Ben Askren hasn't been for nothing. Maybe she comes down and tries to take Alexa down because Alexa's very dangerous on the feet.
She is.
Yeah, I'm sticking with my pick though. 250, Barber, second round TKO.
Yeah, I got a lot of confidence with Macy Barber coming back. We've seen this with other fighters in their career. Brian Ortega being one of them. Losing to Max Holloway, getting absolutely outclassed, outdominated, and obviously not coming off an ACL injury. That may be a little bit different there, but nonetheless, Macy Barber obviously coming off her loss to Roxanne Modafferi. That was her very first loss. She's super young. I think Macy Barber's like, what, 23, 20? No, she's
Not
22.
even. She's like, yeah.
She's 22.
Yeah, she wanted to break the record for the youngest champion ever.
Champ. Yeah.
Which, she picked the roughest division to
Yeah,
do it in.
She absolutely did. But, I think obviously training with Ben Askren, she very well could take Alexa Grasso down. I really like Macy Barber. I have a lot of confidence in this fight. I am laying 1,000 church coin down on Macy Barber at a plus 120 for the win. I think she gets it done.
That's
Decision.
risky, bro. That's risky.
It is. But you
risky
got to risk
business.
it to get the biscuit.
You honestly do.
Let's go.
You honestly do. Kelvin Gastelum, Ian Heinisch. A great matchup, dude. Kelvin Gastelum coming in at a minus 220 to a plus 180 with Ian Heinisch.
Yes.
How do you see this going down, dude?
Well, obviously Kelvin Gastelum coming a little bit off of a few fight skid. He's lost to Darren Till, he lost to Israel Adesanya, and he lost to Jack Hermanson. That's 3 in a row for Kelvin Gastelum, who was literally just fighting for a belt last year. Technically not last year, I guess. 2019. He definitely needs the win here. I think obviously Kelvin Gastelum is the more experienced fighter. And you were telling me some interesting things about Ian Heinisch. You were telling me he went to prison a couple times.
Multiple times, yep.
And, he did just get that win over Gerald Mershart here. But I really like Kelvin. I think he's an experienced and established fighter. His boxing is great. And I like Kelvin's chances here. I'm going to go second round TKO. I am picking Kelvin Gastelum at a minus 220, and I am laying down 440 church coin on Kelvin Gastelum for the second round TKO.
You know what? I was taking Gastelum, but I've noticed a little bit of a trend in this card. I'm kind of rolling with the underdogs. I'm rolling with the dogs. So if I just leave my man Ian Heinisch just hanging out in the background, dude, you cannot sleep on Heinisch, but it is Kelvin Gastelum. Yeah. This is a fucking rough matchup. Both these men have knockout power. Both these men are going to go in and fucking swing with reckless abandonment, I think. Can Ian Heinisch implement the ground game? Can he take Kelvin Gastelum down? That is the biggest question, in my opinion. If he could take Kelvin Gastelum down, I'm rolling with Ian Heinisch all day. Unanimous decision.
Alrighty.
If he can't, though, it's going to be a rough matchup.
Yeah,
it's a very rough matchup on the feet. I wouldn't be shocked if he found a way to win. If he found a way to win and outstrike Kelvin Gastelum, maybe he watched that Darren Till fight. Maybe he could find a few things he can implement in his own game. Who knows? I'm very confident in this guy's camp, though. I mean, he's got a great camp behind him in Denver, and I think it's what team is that in Denver? I can't remember. I think it's the team Alistair Overeem and all them guys are at. But it's a fantastic camp, and he's on a bit of a run. He did get stopped in his tracks. Who did he lose to? What was his last? Omari Akhmedov. Out-wrestled him, completely out-wrestled him in that fight. Kelvin Gastelum ain't going to come and wrestle you, my guy. So if he can out-wrestle Kelvin Gastelum, I'm rolling with Heinisch. I'm actually going to take Heinisch as the underdog. I'm going to keep it with the dogs. I'm going 200 church coin on Heinisch by unanimous decision.
Alrighty. Talking about this next fight here, Pedro Munoz versus Jimmy Rivera. Pedro Munoz at a slight underdog at a plus 120, and the favorite Jimmy Rivera sits at a minus 140. Tabor, how do you see this fight going down, and who do you got?
Oh, man, this is can we just talk about how fantastic this card is, really? Because this is
a great
fantastic
card. Top to
matchup,
bottom,
dude.
man, especially this main card is just, it's pretty pretty awesome.
It's ridiculous,
Yeah,
honestly.
it is.
But I mean, there's not the. I mean, if you're casual, you're not going to be like, oh fuck, who the fuck are these guys?
Right.
But if you don't know who Pedro Munoz and Jimmy Rivera are,
And what a
like
banger that
just
fight's
shame
gonna
on
be.
you, because dude, what a fucking fight this is! What a great matchup!
3-round war.
It has
unless
to
someone
be.
goes to sleep,
Right?
man. Yeah,
It has to be
definitely
a
will
war. They're going to stand and bang. Rivera's going to go for some takedowns
Yeah, of
without a
course.
doubt. It's just can't, like we said in the last fight, can he get the takedowns? If he does, he's going to find success. If he can't, he might get pieced up. I'm going Rivera, unanimous decision. I think Rivera's just going to be, his wrestling is going to be the ultimate difference in this. I think he takes Pedro down a few times, or he grinds him up against the fence, and because of the threat of the takedown, he will also find success striking. But do not be shocked if at any moment Pedro Munoz puts you to sleep, because it only takes one shot with this guy. It really does. But I'm sticking with it. 100 church coin on Rivera, unanimous decision.
Okay. Yeah, I like the value here on Pedro Munoz at a slight underdog. I think his boxing is some of the best in this division, and the guys that he does lose to typically take him down. So, that does set a little bit of an alarm for me. So I don't have too much here on Munoz. I'm laying a 200 church coin down on Munoz at a plus 120 for the win. I think he gets it done via decision or third round TKO.
Alrighty. Next fight to open up the main card. Maki Pitolo coconut bombs himself versus
This guy-
Julian Marquez.
I feel like Coconut Pumps fights every other
All the
week,
time, dude. This guy's
Fights
like just
all the time.
He's
It's
Hamza
wild.
Chimaev, essentially.
Yeah.
He's a fucking small 185er. Doesn't like to cut the most weight in the world, which is good for him because it's very good for his chin.
Yep.
And he just throws. Like, he doesn't have the greatest record. 13-7. 7's a kind of a lot of losses.
Yeah.
But you know what? Who gives a shit? If you're going to go in there and throw with reckless abandonment and just you live up to the name of Coconut Bombs, he's going to fight.
Yeah.
And he's going to be on the main card of a UFC pay-per-view.
Well,
and he's getting a big fight in Julian Marquez.
Yeah. And his last 2 fights that he lost were one against a dentist, Darren Stewart. He got submitted in the first round. And then that Impa Kasanagane fight, which was a great fight.
Great fight.
So, I mean, yeah, he is 13-7, but here's the thing. He is an entertaining fighter. And he's a guy that you actually look out for, Coconut Bombs. How many times we know?
Since
Pitolo.
the Contender Series, which is where I first saw
Right.
him, you know the guy. I mean, he's very easy to fucking point out. He's not the biggest 185er ever,
No.
but Coconut Bombs, like most original nickname ever.
Yeah, it's great.
It's a
pretty
great
awesome.
nickname. It really is. And he lives up to it, dude, because that's what he throws. Coconut bombs.
does,
He's got coconuts in his hands, not bombs. It's the bombs that he throws. So I'm very excited for this fight. Julian Marquez, I don't know this guy too well. He's only had one fight in the UFC.
Yep, and he lost.
It was by submission, and he seems to be a jiu-jitsu guy. So we'll see. I mean, jiu-jitsu guys that don't have good wrestling tend to get knocked the fuck out by strikers, especially
very
ones
true.
with power hands like coconut bombs.
Especially those with, coconuts
Yeah.
in their hands,
Yeah.
which are pretty firm.
Hey, not just coconuts.
They're bombs.
Coconut
bombs. Yeah. Sounds pretty bomb. Yeah, no, I got
sounds explosive.
I got Pitolo as well. I'm going to lay 155 church coin on Pitolo at a plus 155.
Yeah, and what's Julian at? He's at minus what?
He's at a minus 175, I believe.
Oh, it's not that big of a deal. We're both taking Pitolo. I'm putting 100 church coin on Pitolo as well. I'm thinking he's going to get a second round KO. Maybe they trade in first. Maybe
Yeah,
he gets
175.
taken down.
Julian Marquez, 175.
Yeah. Shocking that he's the favorite. Maybe Vegas is looking at their records and thinking,
Yeah,
because
maybe.
Maybe a lot of people that are betting probably aren't the most experienced with these guys in their names. So we'll see. I mean, I'd put it all on Pitolo, dude. Fuck it. It's coconut bombs.
Yeah.
You got to go with them. You absolutely got to. Let's talk about this prelim main event. Jim Miller and Bobby Green. Another Legends fight, dude. I love this stuff.
I like that they're throwing one of these, on every card, and they're good matchups. Obviously we just talked about it earlier today, but Clay Guida, Michael Johnson was a great fight this week. Might have been fight of the night. I mean, I'm very curious. We didn't get to watch the post fight with Dana or the post fight conference, but I'm very curious to see if they won fight of the night. Because I thought it was an awesome 3 rounds.
Yeah, they really should have. I mean, that was fight of the night without a doubt, in my opinion.
But get back to this, Jim Miller versus Bobby Green. I like it, man. And Bobby Green was on a winning streak this in 2020. He was looking real good.
Yeah, he was looking good, and then he ran into that wall of a top 15 matchup.
Yeah,
Who
he
did he
did.
fight? Wasn't it a top 15 matchup, or was it right outside? I don't remember.
Yeah.
Either way, this is a fantastic matchup. Jim Miller is a guy that I thought...
Wasn't it Anthony Or it wasn't Pettis. Who was it? Oh, Thiago Moises. That's right.
Yep, and he got submitted. Yep, that's right.
No, decision
really?
on that. Yep.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, but Jim Miller, I mean, this is a guy, would this be Jim Miller's retirement fight? It might be.
Very well could be.
Dude, I mean, how many times? I think he's retired once before, hasn't he? And
then
came back.
And he's had a very long career. Again, another one of those guys who's just done a lot for the sport.
And just has been fighting the top of the top cream of the crop guys. And then when he's not fighting top of the top guys,
he's
then
fighting up and coming
guys that will be top 5 guys in the future. So it's been rough. Rough with the matchups lately on the guy. So I love this Bobby Green fight. But unfortunately, it's Bobby Green, dude. I think he's just too smooth. He looked so good with his striking last year. I think he's going to piece up Jim Miller. I'm going Bobby Green first round KO. I think he's just going to be a little bit too quick for Jim Miller. I wouldn't be shocked if it's a flashy knockout for Bobby Green.
Okay. Well, Bobby Green is a heavy favorite in this fight at a minus 250. We have Jim Miller coming in as an underdog at a plus 210. And I think those odds are just about right. I have seen Jim Miller in his career as of late. He's strung together a couple somewhat impressive performances considering how many fights he's been through. But, again, I like Bobby Green, man. I kind of like what he's doing. I really enjoyed following his career in kind of his resurgence in 2020. And I'm going to pick Bobby Green here. I'm laying down 250 church coin on Bobby Green for the win. I say via decision.
Alrighty then. Mason, we made it.
We did. We made it.
We made it to shout-outs. Guys, normally I do a commenter on the channel, but we haven't gotten too many new comments, and the ones that we have gotten just kind of fucking suck. So step your game up, guys. Okay. And then next time I'll give you a shout-out. So instead I'm going to shout out a cryptocurrency that I really like, ADA. Cardano. Guys, look it up. It's fucking fantastic. We're up 75% so far on the week. And if you think that we're hitting the top, we're not even close, baby. We're not even close. It's the best crypto. I'm just joking.
We're really into crypto, but we're a couple knuckleheads. We are not
we're not financial advisors because you have to say that with YouTube because they're fucking Nazis.
Yes.
Yeah,
Whoa.
They are.
I'm not going to say that.
They might as well be.
I feel like this is an episode of An Office where I just stare into the camera.
Censorship is real, guys. Don't fall for it. They're Nazis. Oh. No, but seriously, Cardano, buy it. Buy it. It's going to hit $5. Guys, any price under a dollar is fantastic. I'm not a financial advisor, but throw your money at stuff I tell you to.
Well,
there's got to be a gray area in that, right?
My shout out goes to censorship. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
And I'm going to censor this guy so we can stay on YouTube, everyone. Because I got to kind of reel him in here. But no, joking. All joking aside, my shout out is to the man who's going to get it done tomorrow at the Super Bowl. It is to my boy, again, Tom Brady. I used to hate him. I hated him his whole fucking career. I hated him. And I am like his biggest fanboy this year because what he has been able to do blows my mind. I can't believe you take a 7-9 team and then you go to the Super Bowl with them, on your first year, moving to a new team when you were literally the franchise quarterback for another team and took them to so many Super Bowls, 8 or 9 Super Bowls. It's friggin' insane. So my shout out one more time for the last time, because I guarantee he'll retire after this year, is Tom Brady.
You think if he loses, he doesn't?
Get it done.
If he loses, is he like, fuck it, one more year?
If he loses... You want to know the psychotic thing? And I mean this in the best way, not bad psychotic, but I think if Tom Brady loses, he retires. I think if he wins, he tries to get the three-peat.
You think he doesn't retire?
I don't think he'll retire. I think he'll try to win one more. I think if he wins the Super Bowl tomorrow night, when he does, he will play one more fucking year. Mark my word.
What do you mean three-peat, though? You mean it wouldn't be three-peat because Chiefs won last year. So... It'd be the back-to-back.
Back-to-back, I guess.
Fuck,
yeah.
Dude,
but I guess it wouldn't. You're right.
I mean, at one point, how many awards do you need? At one point, you're just greedy. Okay, Tom? You're just being greedy.
But at the same time, if you can still
so
play
makes
the
him
game
the best.
and you still
makes
make
him
it
the
to
best.
the big, you make it to the big game. It's like, damn.
He's like, I don't need the money. He's like, I'll take a pay cut.
Imagine this. Okay, let's put it in perspective of fighting. If we were like, let's name a champ.
John Jones.
Okay,
like John Jones. How many victories do you need?
What if we were like John Jones
piece of shit.
goes and wins, wins the belt. the heavyweight belt. And we're like, John, you got to retire. You're at that age now. It's like, what? I'm the champ.
Like I'm on top of the game.
If Tom Brady's on top of the
done.
game, if he wants to play one more, he has every right to play one more year.
You think Gronk stays too?
If Tom Brady stays, absolutely Gronk plays one more year. The guy's
Antonio Brown. He's like, yeah, I'll play again.
Yeah, he'll sign another 1 year deal with them if he's not, getting in more trouble.
He just starts bitch slapping their trainers instantly.
We'll see about that. But I like him. He's on my dynasty team, so let's go, Antonio Brown, next year. Let's get it done. I picked you up on waivers when no one else would. All right, well, now let's wrap it up.
Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, at the Church of MMA. Guys, we're posting funny memes, clips of the show every single day. Go hit us up.
Yeah, check out our YouTube channel too, guys. We are up to 426 subs. Be sure to sub, trying to hit that 1,000 mark. So be sure to like, comment, share. Every little bit helps in the YouTube analytics. And if you guys want some Have You Seen It or church merch, whatever, fuck. Guys, this is the Church of MMA podcast. My name is Mason Knight. That is Tabor Cragen. And until next time.
Peace.